There are two kinds of minds in this world, the logical and the emotional. Each has its strengths, each has its weaknesses, and by the end of this video, you'll take a short quiz to discover which one dominates your thinking. Let's start with logical thinkers. These are the people who trust reason over feeling. They navigate the world using facts, data, and structured analysis. Clarity, consistency, and precision? That's their language. When faced with a problem, logical thinkers pause. They step back, ask sharp questions, weigh pros and cons, and choose the most effective path forward. They see chaos as a puzzle waiting to be solved, and they usually solve it. This way of thinking makes them excellent problem solvers, reliable decision makers, and clear communicators. They're often the ones people look to in high-pressure situations because logic doesn't panic. But here's the twist. Logical doesn't mean emotionless. They feel. They just treat emotions like another piece of data. Instead of getting swept away by a feeling, they analyze it. They ask questions like, why am I feeling this way? Or what triggered this emotion? They try to dissect their emotions rather than fully experience them, and that has its cost. Logical thinkers can come across as cold, detached, or overly analytical in emotionally charged moments. They might struggle to validate someone else's feelings, not because they don't care, but because they don't instinctively feel the same way. They also risk getting stuck in analysis paralysis, which basically means they are so obsessed with making the best decision, they end up making none at all. And when life throws ambiguity or unpredictability their way, they might freeze or retreat, uncomfortable with what can't be measured. So while their minds are sharp, their emotional blind spots can trip them up, especially in relationships or creative environments that demand flexibility and empathy. Now let's talk about emotional thinkers. These are the feelers, the people who move through life guided by their intuition, their values, and the pulse of their emotions. For them, it's not just about what makes sense, it's about what feels right. Emotional thinkers process the world through a human lens. They ask questions like, how will this affect me or the people around me? Or, does this choice feel aligned with who I am? For them, data matters, sure, but it takes a backseat to gut instinct and emotional truth. Rather than dissecting problems into logic blocks, emotional thinkers look at the bigger picture. They feel the vibe of a situation. They tune into unspoken emotions, subtle shifts in energy, and the emotional ripple effect of every decision. And that's their superpower. Empathy, emotional intelligence, and a deep sense of connection come naturally to them. They're the ones who just get you, often without you saying a word. Whether they're comforting a friend, resolving conflict, or holding a group together through hard times, their presence is often the emotional glue. They make exceptional counselors, caregivers, storytellers, and leaders in spaces where human connection is key. In emotionally charged environments, their ability to stay present and connected can be the calm in the storm. But their strength can also become a double-edged sword. Emotional thinkers feel everything deeply. They embrace their emotions, they live in them, and sometimes they get consumed by them. They might overthink a comment, replay a conversation in their head for hours, or spiral when someone they care about pulls away. They're more likely to make impulsive decisions when emotions are high, and more prone to regret if those decisions backfire. In high-stress or logical environments, their emotional approach might be seen as a weakness. They can be misunderstood as overly sensitive, too reactive, or not objective enough for roles that demand cold calculation. And when emotions blur the line between perception and reality, they might struggle to separate how they feel from what matters right now. But make no mistake, emotional thinkers can be just as deep, just as thoughtful, and just as strategic. They simply filter the world through a different lens, one colored by feeling, connection, and meaning. So, which type of thinker are you? Let's find out right now with a short quiz. You'll get 7 questions. Choose either A or B. Be honest, don't overthink, and most importantly, keep track of your answers. This will tell you whether you're a logical thinker, an emotional thinker, or maybe something in between. Ready? Let's go. 1. When faced with a tough decision, what's your first instinct? A. Break it down, analyze the facts, and weigh the pros and cons. B. Reflect on how each option makes you feel and trust your gut. 2. A friend comes to you crying after a breakup. What's your response? A. Stay calm and offer practical, actionable advice. B. Comfort them first. Let them cry it out and just be there emotionally. 3. You're offered a dream job, but it means moving far from your loved ones. What's your move? A. Think long-term. Evaluate the career benefits before anything else. B. Ask yourself, will this feel right? Will I be emotionally okay being away? 4. How do you handle conflict? A. Stay detached, calm, and look for the most logical solution. B. Get emotionally involved. You care about how everyone feels, not just who's right. 5. In a group project, what's your role? A. You take charge of planning, structure, and keeping things organized. B. You're the emotional glue, checking in with everyone and keeping the vibe strong. 6. You get harsh feedback on something you worked hard on. Your reaction? A. Analyze it. What can you improve? You don't take it personally. B. It stings. Even if it's fair, your first reaction is emotional. 7. Which quote speaks more to you? A. Facts don't care about feelings. B. How something feels is just as important as what it is. Done? Great. Now, count your A's and B's. Let's break it down. If you had mostly A's, you're a logical thinker. You thrive on structure, strategy, and clarity. Your superpower is staying cool under pressure and making decisions that make sense, even when emotions run high. If you had mostly B's, you're an emotional thinker. You lead with empathy, intuition, and connection. You understand people deeply and bring warmth to every space you walk into. If you had a close tie like 3 A's and 4 B's or vice versa, you may be a balanced thinker. You've got the best of both worlds. But your secret weapon lies in knowing when to lead with logic and when to trust your heart. But remember, this was just a taste. If you really want to dig deeper into how your mind works, I suggest checking out the Myers-Briggs personality type test. Seriously, it's spooky accurate. Now it's your turn. Drop your result in the comments. Are you a logical, emotional, or balanced thinker? Let's see how many of each we've got watching this video. And if this hit home for you or made you see yourself in a new way, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to take this quiz too. And if you enjoyed this video, you might like this one too. Click right here. You won't regret it.